Hi, I'm Kevin Pardy, service technician at Huron Tractor. I will be going over service maintenance and optimizations for John Deere headers. Couple of service areas to look at on this side of the header. You have a greaser on your telescoping drive shaft here. This does move back and forth as your knife does go up and down in flex mode. The knife drive at the bottom end is lubed for life from factory. There's nothing we can do there. There is a plug installed, but you do not need to take that out and do anything with it. It's lubed for life. On the top side of the drive shaft, there is a gear case with a plug and a dipstick. That's 80-90 oil. A good spot to check. If it does start to discolor, get that oil out of there. While we're in this area, we'll look at clean out. Cleanup procedures, very important. There's a void on this area and it accumulates debris. Top and bottom, there is a really a void area that you can actually blow out with a handheld blower is a really good way to clean that area. The center of the header, you have a trap door that you drop to clean out dirt and debris that is accumulated in that trap door. One thing to consider that if you do leave it in there for too long, the dirt does get hard and can wreck a belt. We recommend dumping that trap door every couple days to make sure it does stay clean. The other side is very similar to this side. Make sure you keep those areas free of debris. There's also a center gearbox by the drive belt. That's also an area for accumulation of debris. Keep that area clean. To move from flex to rigid, we recommend putting in your cast lockups in this area. With those lockups in there, it takes the load off of your HydroFlex system itself. So if you do blow a line, you're still able to keep your header locked up. When you do go to your lockup, you want to make sure you drop your rigid sensors underneath the header. And there is a storage position for your linch pins. You want to make sure you do put them in the right area because when they do fold up, there is potential to bust that pin area or bend the flange that holds the pin. And just a good point, when you are changing modes, to remember to calibrate the header to the proper mode you're in, whether it's flex or rigid. Belt tension is very important. Belt tension is achieved by turning this screw on this side, and the indicator is on the back side of the header. You want to make sure that indicator is in the green. The center belt is adjusted with a nut, and you want to make sure that nut is flush with the plate on the center belt. Also a 630 has a similar adjustment to the center belt. A 630 has a nut here with a side sheet, and you want to make sure the nut is even with the side sheet. We very well do recommend loosen your belts off in the wintertime so they don't overstretch during the wintertime. Reel, there's a couple adjustments on the reel. The main adjustment is your height is achieved with on the clevis on the side of the head here. You want to make sure that your reel has clearance to your knife. If you drop a 4x4 underneath that knife and set the header down, it will hyperextend the knife and allow you to adjust that clearance so when that reel turns, it doesn't clip the knife off, or it doesn't clip your fingers off your knife. A 30-foot or a 35-foot only has 2 adjustments on the side. On a 40 or a 45-foot, there's actually 3 of these adjustments, one in the middle. Reel pitch. You have an adjustment on the side for reel pitch. It actually changes the pitch of your fingers. If you move the lever forward, it's more aggressive. If you move it back, it's less aggressive. If you have down crop, the more aggressive will pick up the crop, but has a potential to wrap. This head has a flip over bat option from factory, but there is aftermarket flip over bat options available if you find you're wrapping in long stringy soybeans. So a couple of quick spots I'd like to point out on the back side of the header. 35 to 45 foot headers will have a gear case down by your belt drive. There's a plug here to check level, and it's 80-90 gear oil. Also on the header drive itself, this gear case here, there's a plug here, is to be checked at operating position, and it's also gear oil. Just want to take a moment and talk about the knife itself. We've got your guards and your sections. Going into crop, you want to make sure that your guards are as square as possible, and you want to make sure your sections themselves are sharp. There's 2 sets of guards available. There's green, which are high wear, and black, which are regular wear. Every head from factory comes with green high wear, and they do last quite a bit longer than the regular wear guards if you do find yourself having issues with longevity of the guards themselves. when you set your knife to your guards itself, you want to use a business card and put it underneath the sections themselves, which that one's too tight. You want to put it underneath the sections itself, underneath the hold down clips, and you want to make sure you can move that business card back and forth, and that sets your gap to your guards itself. There is a number of options for knives. There is coarse and fine tooth, and there's long shorts and long knives themselves. The long knives are for regular applications. The long short are for no-till applications to clean that knife out from lodging corn stalks or cobs themselves. One very important note is a properly maintained knife will extend the life of your knife drive components. I'd like to talk about auger headers and stripper adjustment on the auger headers. First step is making sure that your auger is set to the proper position with the threaded turnbuckles on the outer edges of the header. When it's set properly, make sure your strippers are set between 1/4 to 7/16 away from the auger flighting itself, and then lift the header up, verify that adjustment, and once that's verified, set it back down and recheck. Refer to your operator's manual for specifications. If you're having feeding issues, finger timing can be adjusted on the right hand side of the header.